What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Route Runners podcast. I'm your host, Jared.
I am the James.
And I am the Jason.
There we go.
There's
So
only two of those. Jared's not in his prime, so he can't be
no,
both.
I'm not. I'm still in the beginning of my career.
Oh, okay, so you're not in your
are you
prime
now?
yet.
I don't fucking know. But so we got round 3 of the ultimate NFL mock draft today. It's been we've done 64 picks throughout this entire thing, and I've really enjoyed it. I think that it's been a very good idea for the entire summer. But we do have some news to start off with just in the beginning. Nothing too crazy happened this week. We had 2 signings that are pretty significant, one that's not really at all, and then some players not showing up to OTAs. Deebo Samuel, Kyler Murray, and Baker Mayfield all not showing up to their respective team OTAs. Definitely Baker Mayfield I kind of pictured because he's supposed to be the starting quarterback, and now they have Deshaun Watson, so he really has no use on that team at all. And Deebo and Kyler, like, yeah, I'm not surprised just because of the whole contract situation, but it's and OTAs really, like, some people don't show up to OTAs, like, it happens, but it's definitely not a step in the right direction.
Yeah, with Deebo and Kyler, I mean, we always see the star players not really go to OTAs. I feel like it's not a big deal, but it's just kind of like brought out there more with these two just because like the recent problems they've had. But the one with Baker, actually, I feel like if you're Baker, you want to show up to everything optional because like it's kind of clear his time in Cleveland's done or coming to an end. So like he's kind of just like trying out for other teams right now, and not showing up to stuff like this isn't going to be very appealing to other teams.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that this is like it's not a huge deal, but it's definitely something to keep your eye on, especially like for fantasy and stuff. Like, you don't know if Kyler's going to be available to taking quarterbacks. Deebo Samuel is probably a guy that's going to go in the end of many first rounds in fantasy drafts, and I think that he's definitely a huge part for that. But and then, some signings that we had this week. James Bradbury got cut by the Giants and immediately got signed by the Eagles. It's a pretty huge L for the Giants because, he's was probably the best defender one of the best defenders on the team. And then he immediately goes to Philadelphia, and that was a huge need. A team that had 2 first-round picks. They turned it into Jordan Davis and AJ Brown, and then they just signed James Bradbury. I don't know what the contract was exactly, but this is a great signing for Philly. You have Bradbury and Darius Slay in the same secondary. And I think Philly's roster is low-key one of the better rosters in the league, honestly, I really think.
In the league, huh?
Well, definitely in the NFC. I think they're a top 5 NFC roster.
Sorry, I just switched Wi-Fi's because mine was like unstable, so I was frozen half the time. So that's my bad.
Oh, okay.
I think we're good now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, him and Slay is a very good pairing. I would be scared if I was the NFC East, except if you're Wan'Dale Robinson. But he has nothing to worry about. Wan'Dale Robinson.
Wan'Dale Robinson's going to come in and have a better season than Jefferson and Chase.
I mean, yeah, he should. Not even a Giants fan, but Wan'Dale Robinson, man. What a guy.
We also had Jadeveon Clowney re-signing with the Cleveland Browns. He didn't make that huge of an impact last year. If anything, it just makes Myles Garrett a little more isolated on the other side. And then we also had Nick Foles going to the Colts, reuniting with Frank Reich, who he won the Super Bowl with. I mean, unless Matt Ryan gets hurt, which has never really happened in his career, I don't really think this means a whole lot.
I don't know, man. They're gonna purposely injure Matt Ryan if they make the playoffs, and they're gonna have Nick Foles come in. You already know.
Matt Ryan's going to have MVP season, get hurt, diving into the end zone. Nick Foles comes in, Colts Super Bowl.
What's the odds on Matt Ryan MVP? Because the Colts are
probably not great. Who do they have at receiver? They have Pittman.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Harris Campbell.
No, he's not on. I'm pretty sure he's not on the Colts anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
T.Y. Hilton. Hey, against the Texans, man. T.Y. Hilton is magical.
It's plus 4,000
for Colts playoffs or Matt Ryan.
No,
MVP?
for Matt Ryan.
I would not bet on that.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen, but the odds aren't terrible. He's behind a really good O-line. I mean, yeah, they're just gonna end up running the ball most of the time anyway. But like, the odds are pretty good when like Brady's plus 1,000. Like I'm not touching that at all. Dak is plus 60. Like I feel like Dak shouldn't have that much better odds than Matt Ryan or
What are his
Jalen Hurts.
odds?
Dak's plus 1,600. Hurts is plus 1,800.
Yeah.
Like Lamar is at plus 2,500, and then Matt Ryan is next at 4,000. He also has the same odds as Tua. So that's what.
Those are pretty good odds for Lamar.
Yeah,
It
I was about to
is.
say those are good.
Considering
Those are
he's
pretty good
won
odds
an
for Lamar.
MVP already.
So is Matt Ryan.
Yeah, but like Matt Ryan's old and
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Doesn't
it's
have
not
Julio
gonna
Jones.
happen. I just
yeah.
the value for it is pretty good. The value for Lamar is pretty good too. I don't know. MVP is going to be a tough one to bet on this year.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so you guys ready to start round 3 of
Yes.
I'm ready.
I don't know why I said it like that, but
the thing?
yes.
Okay, so let me share my.
The thing,
Okay, all good. Yeah, we should be fine.
yeah. See.
All right, so James is up with the Jags, Pat Mahomes, and I don't know why I'm telling everyone, but Pat Mahomes
It's
and
Pat
Khalil
Mahomes
Mack.
and Khalil Mack, which is very good. But again, if you have Pat Mahomes on that offense, you really just kind of need to build up that defense. And there aren't really many good corners left, I don't think. I think we kind of went through all of them. Maybe there's one I'm missing, but this guy has been kind of the elite playmaker of the defense that he is on currently. And he's kind of one of the reasons why the Colts defense got so better, and that is DeForest Buckner.
That's a steal. Yeah, I like that.
Yes. That's what I was thinking of as soon as round 2 ended. It was either him or a receiver, but again, he kind of elevated that Colts defense. Now you have him and Khalil Mack on the same defense. That's kind of scary. And you have Mahomes on the offense. So it's like this team is looking good for the first 3 rounds. I mean, yeah, you got Khalil Mack, DeForest Buckner, were really good. You got an interior defensive player who can rush, and then you got someone who can rush on the edge. They're set up for success in blitzes right now, but for any other like man coverage or zone, they're kind of screwed, but they can work on that. And of course, again, Mahomes on the offense. So they're missing a lot of like skill positions and key positions, but I think they're fine. They'll survive.
So we're in round 3. Most of my descriptions for each pick are going to be pretty short. I feel like I'm just going to keep them brief, but here I already have Josh Allen for the Lions. And so I want to start to give him some weapons, and he's got a really big arm. So I'm going to give him one of the best deep receivers in the game from last year. It's hard to say is already one of the best in the league because he's only played 1 season, and that is Jamar Chase.
And he also, I'd say he fell. I don't know. He has a lot of upside.
I'm surprised that he fell that far. I thought he was going to go in the last week.
I feel like it's kind of tough to tell with the receivers. Like, I don't know. It could go either way. There's still a lot of really good receivers. That's a thing. Like, that's why I wasn't really too surprised he was still here.
All right. So, Jason, you remember last week I texted you that, oh, first off, by the way, there's so much defensive talent that's still available.
Yeah.
Like in the rest of this. And I texted Jason, I was like, there's 2 people that should have been gone already. One of them was DeForest Buckner.
And I know the other one you're taking, I think.
Who do you think it is? And then I'll
I don't want to spoil it, so you tell, and I'll tell you if I get it right. But I'm like,
all right. Well, this guy had a pretty rough rookie season, and then in his sophomore season, he played really well. Was probably like a top 3 corner last year, and he plays on a pretty bad team, so he doesn't really get a whole lot of recognition. But I'm taking AJ Terrell for the Texans. Like I didn't like really think of him originally, and I don't like, he's very young, so like some people may think it's like kind of an overdraft, but I think that he's one of the best young corners in the league. He's definitely like very close to that top 5. A lot of the corners that we've had go so far like around his range, and like there's not a whole lot you can really say about corners, but like a lot of people were saying like Terrell Island last year because of just how like good he was against top tier receivers. And this Texans team is kind of like, I'm doing like a little experiment with this team where I'm just going to be bolstering the defense, at least for now. But I had Aaron Donald with the first pick, Chase Young with the second, and now AJ Terrell for the Texans.
Yeah,
Who'd you
that's
think it-
actually not the guy I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. Well, don't tell me.
That is still a very good pick.
Yes. Oh, is it me? How
Yes.
did it already get to me? God damn. What are the Jets have Xavier Howard and Aaron Rodgers? Okay. Well, it's not the first round, so I was gonna say the Packers, but since Aaron Rodgers is on this team, it doesn't really make a difference. I'm just gonna stop talking. I think I'm gonna hop on the receiver train and get Rodgers a weapon. And I think out of the receivers right now, he probably is the best, but he didn't really show it last year. But this guy is a freak, so it's DK Metcalf. There's probably better receivers available, but he's kind of an anomaly. He's strong, he's fast, he can just do everything. He can run fast, he can tackle Buda Baker. If you have Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball, I feel like he's going to be unstoppable. I mean, Russell Wilson was still good, and that Seahawks team kind of sucked, but I think Russell Wilson was just not feeling it that year. So I think if you give Metcalf the back-to-back MVP, then he's going to produce. So yes. I don't know. I know you guys are judging me, so I'm just going to stop talking.
Okay, so here I think I'm going to go receiver again. I wanted to give Herbert one of his old receivers, but it just doesn't make sense to do it here. Also, this is pick 69, #nice. So I am going receiver. I'm going to go with maybe a biased pick, but Chris Godwin out of Penn State. He's, I guess, like James said, for DK Metcalf, he can really do it all. I feel like Chris Godwin can do it all. He plays on the slot very well. He can run routes out wide. He can go deep. Really good in the screens. He's a good blocking receiver too. He can do it all, and he'll be a very reliable target for Justin Herbert.
All right. So the Panthers have Minkah Fitzpatrick for the secondary. They have Deshaun Watson as their quarterback. I'm going to give Deshaun Watson some protection that he never really got a whole lot of in Houston. I'm going to go with Teron Armstead. There's not really a whole lot of analysis you can really do with offensive linemen. Just look at those Saints teams with Drew Brees and when he was declining over the last couple of years, that offensive line was still really good. And Teron Armstead is, I think, 30 years old, but I mean, he's got an absolutely huge contract from the Dolphins, and I feel like, getting protection for Watson is never going to really be a bad thing. So I think that Teron Armstead this early is fine, even though he's a little bit old. But yeah, again, there's not really a whole lot you can say with O-lineman.
Yeah. So for the Bears, I got Burrow and MT. So they're set on offense for now, so they're going to need a kind of a lockdown player on defense, and it's going to be one of Michael Thomas's teammates, and it's Marshawn Lattimore.
I like this team.
You like this team with
Yeah,
Burrow, MT, and Marshawn Lattimore? I don't know. I feel like Lattimore is a very underrated corner because he's been taken. I took Xavier Howard, but he's been taken after Xavier Howard. Trey White is understandable, but JC Jackson. I mean, JC Jackson's really good, but I still think Marshawn Lattimore is an elite corner. And just throw to him, you'll regret it. That's really all I have to say. I don't know. You just need someone to lock down one side of the field, and he can do exactly that.
Yeah, I didn't write Lattimore down, and I feel really stupid.
Haha! It is I who outsmarted you.
That is, yeah, that's it.
Even though I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
All right. So pick 72. With how I drafted these early teams, I really want to keep going offense, but I feel like there are way too many good defensive players left where I have to take him. I can't really let him keep falling. This one, he's definitely getting older. But he's one of those players where I just feel like as long as he's on the field, he's going to make a huge impact and improve that defense no matter what. And that's actually a guy who just switched teams this offseason, and that is Bobby Wagner. Oop, not Booby, Bobby. There. I feel like he'll just be the QB of that defense. It'll go along with Max Crosby. Them two are going to wreak havoc on the QB and the running game. They're going to lock it down out there. And then hopefully we can get Russell Wilson some targets and some protection in the later rounds.
All right. So this Denver team has Russell Wilson and Stephon Diggs. I'm gonna go to the secondary, the guy that I think is the next best corner on the board. I'm gonna go with Marlon Humphrey.
Yes.
I think- What?
I said yes.
Oh, that's who you thought it was before.
No,
Jason?
that's just that's where I was going next.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. He's a really good corner. He's coming off an injury, so like that is probably like the reason why I would kind of hesitate to make this pick at 73. But I mean, you definitely need defense on this team. Obviously, they have 2 offensive players so far, so defense is definitely needed. And Marlon Humphrey's a really good corner, like when it comes to forcing turnovers, which is kind of rare these days coming from cornerbacks. So I feel like, Marlon Humphrey's probably a better player than AJ Terrell. And I'm now kind of realizing that, but it's okay. And I think that Marlon Humphrey for this Broncos team is totally fine. And I think that, lock down one side of the field and they'll be fine back there.
Yes. Hold on, I'm just looking something up. Okay, so the Seahawks, as we know, are full run commit with Derrick Henry, Tristan Wirfs. So they have to look on the defensive side of the ball, and they're still gonna go full run heavy and get one of the guys who is one of the better run stoppers in the NFL, and it's Budda Baker. In his position, one of the best run stoppers. That's not how you spell Budda. That's fun. He's a safety, obviously, and that's kind of one of the least like utilized positions in the NFL, I guess, for now, because I mean there's still corners on the board, there's DNs, but there haven't been many safeties drafted, and I guess the Seahawks have an opportunity to pounce on one of the best in the league. And again, he's good at run stopping, so you never know. I don't know. I think they just take a chance on him. We know he's proved himself in that Cardinals defense. He is clearly an X factor for that team, except Streaker's top 5 cornerback. I forgot his Byron Murphy, who's probably not going to make it out of this round, but
He may not make the Cardinals. So
yeah. So again, you have a nice run stopper on defense to kind of complement your run heavy offense. So Seahawks are going full run just to spite Pete Carroll and that Super Bowl. Because why not?
All right. With the Commanders, I've already committed to the offense a lot, and I'm gonna keep going with that. Like I said, for round 2, you got to keep Tom Brady upright. You're kind of in a win now mode. I don't care about this guy's age, but we're gonna have the best tackle duo in the league. I'm taking Lane Johnson.
Oh, I didn't write him either.
Jared, you're slacking.
I guess so. I was thinking
he's,
him
He's
too.
old. He's old, but he's a great leader like Tom Brady. I mean, we saw him. He's very vocal in the Eagles Super Bowl. Jeez, I sound like an idiot. Super Bowl.
32? Jesus.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was a leader for that team that won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. And so I like the veteran experience I have so far on this team, and maybe it can bring in some youth later rounds, bring in some speed too. We'll see.
All right. So with the Vikings, I already committed to the run game, kind of like James did with the Seahawks. I need to, with this team as Lamar Jackson, Jonathan Taylor, I definitely need to go to the defensive side. So I think that getting a guy that's really good at stopping the run and just kind of is the quarterback of a defense. And he's also going back to his old team or team that he's on currently. I'm going with Eric Kendricks. He's not the best middle linebacker in the league, but he's pretty close to it. I think like a guy like Darius Leonard and who's the other really good middle linebacker?
Fred Warner.
Yeah, Fred Warner. I think they're definitely better than Eric Kendricks because they're a little younger and probably just a little faster at this point in their careers. But Eric Kendricks is like, I've seen him for many years. This guy is incredible at, just directing the entire defense and switching direction in terms of the run and the pass game. And, I think that Eric Kendricks, he's a little old. He's 30 years old. So in terms of value, I probably could have got him maybe a little bit later, but I just like the fit. It goes back to his old team.
Yes. And we know you've really wanted him for like 8 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at a list. Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Okay. The Browns have Kamara and TJ Watt. Just want to make sure. Okay. So they could go defense. They could go offense here. I'm going to go offense with them because Kamara isn't kind of like, he's not really a staple of an offense. So I'm going to give him a receiver here, and it's going to be Michael Evans. I mean, how old is he? He's got to be in his 30s, right?
31, probably.
Yeah, he's still, yeah.
Okay. He's only 28. Oh, damn. Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, I kind of like that. I thought he was gonna be much older, but I mean,
Wait, Mike Evans is 28?
Yeah,
I wish I knew that.
me too, and that's why I just looked it up. I was gonna take him regardless, but again, Mike Evans, he was the wide receiver one in fantasy like what 2-3 years ago, alongside Chris Godwin and Jameis Winston, but fantasy is irrelevant for this purpose. But again, that just proves that Mike Evans can be a good receiver and the best receiver in the league when paired with a QB that likes to throw the ball. So that's what I'm going to do with the Browns, kind of work around kind of a pass-heavy offense, even though I'm just giving you guys my game plan. But whatever.
I think Godwin was like 1 or 2. I think Evans was like
Evans was 1, Godwin was 2.
Evans was 1.
I think so. Maybe it was the other way around. But again, if you give Evans a pass-heavy quarterback, he's going to produce and he's going to put up big numbers that will push your team to the playoffs. So I think if the Browns have Mike Evans, they just kind of need to focus on a project QB or just a QB that will get him the ball and good things will happen. So Mike Evans. And he's only 28, so he still has a good amount of years left in him. Fun fact of the day, Mike Evans is 28.
Yeah, I did not know that.
I thought he was much older. Huh.
Okay. So I need a QB here. And I really don't know who to pick. I'm still deciding. So I'm kind of gonna decide right now. But thinking through it, the Ravens are always a run-heavy team. And so they like the read option. I mean, of course, that's with Lamar, but, obviously they'd hope to keep it a little similar. So I'm actually going to give him a QB who he might have one start in his whole career. It's going to be a very hit or miss pick right here. It's probably a reach too.
I know who it is.
Yeah. Trey Lance.
Oh, that's not what I thought it was.
Oh, okay. Well, going into the draft, I really believed in him. And I mean, like, I still do, maybe a little less than before after last season, but he's got a strong arm and he's a very big runner. I could say he's fast and he's a big guy. He can break tackles if he doesn't want to slide. So I guess my reasoning for taking him here is just because of how the Ravens run their offense, and I'm going to assume they want to keep it similar. Otherwise, I would not have taken him. I would have definitely taken another QB who I might be taking at my next pick. That's just my reasoning for this one. I don't think he's the best QB left. I definitely think there's some better ones, but I'm just going based off play style here.
All right. That was surprising. I did not expect that at all, but I think
either.
It could work. All right,
could, but probably won't.
The
We'll see.
Dolphins have Myles Garrett. Oh, and Rashawn Slater. That's right. Okay. I'm gonna stick to the offense here, but I'm not gonna go with a quarterback. I'm gonna go with a receiver. This guy is very young. He's only played 3 years in the league, and I think that he's the best in his draft class. I think he's one of the best young receivers out there. And you saw how good or how much he meant to his team when he got hurt this year. I'm going with AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Like I said, I definitely think he's the best receiver available. He was really good. He ran that play action style on the Titans perfectly. And I think that he's going to fit on I mean, obviously his team doesn't have a quarterback yet. So I got it. I mean, Tannehill's still there, even though I just revealed that, but like I feel like if he can fall there, that would be perfect with this Dolphins team, and just build your offense up with a big receiver like AJ Brown.
So I was going to take a quarterback initially for the Colts, but Jared, you bringing up Ryan Tannehill didn't do much for me because I wasn't going to take him anyways. So the Colts have Devontae Adams, and they need someone to get him the ball, and that's going to be Mackiard Jones. Mac Jones. I know it's kind of a questionable pick regarding the other QBs in here, but again, he as a rookie, he led this Patriots team, even though it was probably carried by the defense, but this Patriots team with Jacoby Myers as the wide receiver 1 to the playoffs. So like, and he was a rookie, and so he has so much to develop. And again, with Devontae Adams, you got a QB who likes to throw the ball, even though the Patriots more of a run heavy team, but still Mac Jones still had 3,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, like as a rookie. And again, that's with Jacoby Myers. So imagine what he can do with Devontae Adams. I just think that he can probably blossom into his full potential with Devontae. And I feel like Devontae's numbers will be down because, again, it's not Aaron Rodgers, but it'll still be good. It'll make Mac Jones look good. And again, it's with the QBs up there, he's young. He has time to develop. He has a good arm. He's very smart in the pocket. Like, he's just the guy you want to build your team around. So Mac Jones.
All right, am I up now? Okay, well, I'm gonna go QB again, and I
Donaldson got suspended. That's
who
cool.
did?
Josh Donaldson.
Josh Donaldson.
Oh,
There you
okay, that's why he's not playing for my fantasy team today. That's great. Okay, this next pick, I
Wait,
kind of have a
banned
feeling
one game. That's it.
there's one game.
He was banned one
He was
game.
banned a game.
Banned one game. Yeah.
Whoa,
Not even allowed in the clubhouse. Look at that.
damn! They really showed him. Okay.
I know, right?
Well, I'm gonna go QB again, just because like I want my team to have a chance of winning soon. I know I kind of have a feeling no one's gonna like this pick, but despite all the slander on this QB,
Yeah, I know who it is. I think.
there are a lot of QBs who get slandered, who are left.
It better be Gardner Minshew.
Oh, I don't even have him here. Jeez. Okay. Shit. I kind of don't want to take this guy now because all right. A lot of people hate this QB. They think he is awful. He is washed. And I hot take, I think he's still a very good QB. Okay, I can't say very good because he was in a very good situation last year. And he kind of choked. If you don't know who it is yet.
Aaron Rodgers.
No, I don't.
Oh, I know.
No, now I know who it is. That's not who I was thinking.
Yeah, you mentioned Ryan Tannehill. I wasn't thinking. I don't think he's that good of a QB. He was. When did he start being good?
2
Derrick
years
Henry.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah. Okay. Believe it or not, I still think he's actually a pretty good QB. I mean, sure, being in a run first offense, we've seen it help QBs before, but at the same time, it can hurt QBs who are used to throwing a lot. They'll get out of their rhythm, and then when they're told to throw once every 5 plays, like it's not going to be easy. You're going to be out of rhythm and all that stuff. So maybe we try something new with Wentz. I mean, his first couple of years in Philadelphia worked out for him. So put him in new offense, see what happens, give him some weapons, give him an offensive line. I still think he can live up to the potential of where he was drafted.
All right. This Saints team has Kyler Murray and I believe JC Jackson. Yeah. I'm going to keep building on the secondary, and we're just going to make this we're just going to make this like a really good cornerback tandem with the Saints. We're going to try and make this team like a really good secondary. He's a little old, but I'm going to go with Darius Slay. If you like, I don't know why I remember this, but a couple weeks ago, I saw a lot of things with NFL players, or not with NFL players. It was like name like a top 5 corner. And I remember like it was a thing where like a lot of NFL players tweeted back that Darius Slay like better be mentioned in that. So I feel like that's kind of all you need to know. He's a little old, but he was really great on the Lions. And then ever since he's gone to the Eagles, I feel like, I feel like he hasn't really lost that much of a step. He's 31 years old, which is a little bit of a problem. But when you have him with JC Jackson, like who's very young, you can teach him some things. So like he means a little like more even in that sense because he could be a mentor to the other corner on the team.
So this Eagles team has DeAndre Hopkins and Tyreek Hill. So if that gives you a hint at what I'm doing, I probably should go defense, but I'm going guns blazing. I'm going offense here. We're taking a QB, and this is probably another very controversial QB. But if this guy has weapons, where is he led the league in yards per completion in 2021, if that gives any insight. And if he has good weapons, he will be a good QB, and that is Sir Jimmy Garoppolo. If I can spell
That's
his
who I
last name.
thought Jason was picking.
Garoppolo. I feel like I messed that up. Let me play one. Oh, I did it. Okay. With good weapons, this guy is probably a top 15 QB. And if you put him with Tyreek Hill and DeAndre Hopkins, who knows what can happen? Those are two of the best receivers in the league, paired with a mid quarterback. But again, any QB that's thrown to Tyreek Hill or DeAndre Hopkins will be good. So why not just take a chance on a 30-year-old who has known to be kind of great? He has above average touchdown interception ratio. I think it's 33-18. Let's see. It's 33-14. Wow, make my numbers even look better. That kind of helps with me. But again, he's an accurate QB. I feel like he's kind of underrated, but again, if he has weapons like Tyreek Hill and DeAndre Hopkins, no one's going to stop him. He's going to put up even more absurd numbers than he has in the past, and those numbers weren't really absurd. But again, with these receivers, he's going to be absurd. He's going to go off, and might as well just secure your QB at 3 in the third round when there's other options like Tannehill. But I think Garoppolo is he's going to produce better numbers than Tannehill if he had Hopkins and Tyreek Hill. I don't know. He also gets a lot of hate, but I would trust him with the weapons that he has right now.
I feel like most of the QBs left now get a lot of hate. So either way,
yeah,
if we take a QB, it's going to be controversial. But Steelers, one of my two teams left who don't have a QB, and I've went all offense so far with this team. I've kind of gone a weird direction. I'm not going to take a QB yet here. I'm actually going to go over to defense and give them who I think is the best available middle linebacker, and that is Levante David. Once again, he's getting up there in age, but he's still one of the top linebackers. He was a leader for the Buccaneers. I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, he has been outshadowed by Devin White a bit just because he's the young guy. He's new, he's exciting, but I mean, Levante David's been there since day one. He's the veteran. I mean, he's probably the one who helped form Devin White into a top linebacker in the league. And so I think Levante David is still up there in maybe not elite category. Like he's definitely not there with like Fred Warner and Darius Leonard, but he's still a very good linebacker. I think he will be a solid addition or start to the Steelers defense here.
All right. So for the Patriots, they have Quentin Nelson and I believe Jameis Winston. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go on the defensive side. Like I said, there's still a lot of defensive talent available. And out of all the defensive players, this guy's probably one of the lower in terms of talent as of right now. But I feel like in the future he could end up being a really good. I mean, he already is really good. It's Brian Burns from the Carolina Panthers. I think he's a really, really underrated edge rusher that not a whole lot of people really talk about, but he made a pretty big impact on that Panthers team. He was a first round pick. So he obviously is a good football player. And yeah, I mean, you need to build your team with a quarterback, offensive line, and defensive end. And Brian Burns is that perfect defensive end that will fit for the Patriots system. Again, maybe a little bit of an overdraft, but I don't really care.
I may also be going with an overdraft here, but the Raiders have Trevor Lawrence, and we know Trevor Lawrence sucks with crap receivers. So get him a good receiver in Keenan Allen.
Like Christian Kirk? Oh.
Yeah, like
no, that's a good pick.
I mean, Jason probably wished he can get Keenan to the Chargers, but looking at the receivers, there aren't really as many talented ones as Keenan Allen left. He's probably the most talented left. And again, give Trevor Lawrence a good receiver, and he'll probably put up numbers that a number 1 overall pick should be putting up, or one of the most highly scouted or one of the highest QB prospects ever, like scouted in Trevor Lawrence. So again, give him a good receiver, and I think that he will produce numbers that Urban Meyer drafted him, right? I think so. I don't know. The
What?
Jag what?
Urban Meyer drafted
Oh,
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well, anyone would have drafted Trevor Lawrence at first, but like,
Yeah.
again, if you give him Keenan Allen or a receiver like, like Keenan Allen, then he's going to put up numbers that are worthy of his draft spot. So, yeah, Keenan Allen is on the older side, but again, last year he was still a monster. Next year he's going to be a monster. The year after that he's going to be a monster. So again, put Trevor Lawrence there. Keenan Allen will produce, and Trevor Lawrence will also produce. They'll benefit from each other.
I like that team a lot too.
Yeah, me too. And they also have Fred Warner, who is the best QB for the defense.
Okay.
I like
So
that pairing.
for the Cardinals, I already have Jalen Hurts, and I want to give him some help on offense. I originally was thinking receiver, but you know what? This is tough. I'm between. You know what? No, I can get one of these players later. I'm gonna go with tight end here. And I'm actually gonna go Kyle Pitts.
Ooh,
It's not bad. I like that.
I like that too. I also didn't write him down. I was thinking about it, but I don't know.
This was like a pick kind of on the fly. I mean, look, I had Jalen Hurts in fantasy. I know how much he loves throwing to his tight ends. And so that's kind of, I'll tell you what I was thinking. Honestly, I was between tight end because he loved throwing to Dallas Goedert last year. And I mean, he's a good tight end, but he's nothing like Kyle Pitts or some of the other tight ends that are left. Also, I was thinking of pairing him with a running back and just making a good little read option offense there, but I'm confident I can do that later on in the draft. So I think Hurts and Pitts will be a good duo to start, and hopefully I can add on later. And I already have someone on Darius Leonard on defense, so I like to start out with this team so far.
All right. This Cowboys team has Derek Carr and Tyron Smith. This one's tough because I can go anywhere on defense, but I also feel like I can help out Derek Carr a little bit more on offense. There's a good amount of offensive linemen that are still available, but I don't really need that since I already have Tyron Smith. I've been picking a lot of defensive players in this draft, but there's still a really good amount available. He fell too far. I'm gonna go with Tyron Matthew. A lot of people say he's overrated just because of how bad that Chiefs defense was in the very beginning of the year, but I don't really think that that's a whole lot of Tyron Matthew's fault. I think that's a lot of Daniel Sorensen and the fact that Chris Jones was playing on the outside instead of inside. Tyron Matthew is a guy that could be a quarterback of a defense. I mean, the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row and were in the AFC Championship. I don't know if they had Tyron Matthew the year before that, but he was a big part of that Super Bowl roster. And I think that, he fell to 88, which is very surprising. He is 30 years old, which I didn't know. He's a lot older than he seems, but I think it's a pretty decent value pick at 88.
All right, so the Bills have Denzel Ward and Justin Jefferson. Kind of an odd pairing. I feel like this is tough because I have a defensive player in mind, but I also have an offensive lineman who I think they would desperately need. So I'm going to go offensive line here and go David Bakhtiari. I can't spell his last name.
I already took him.
You did? When? Wait.
In the first round.
Seriously? I looked up his name, unless you spelled his name wrong.
Did I take him first round?
Yeah, it was
Oh, yeah,
the.
I did. Oh, I did spell it wrong.
Yeah, you spelled it. That's because I was control Fing it and I was trying to find him. I was like,
Yeah.
his name
I
didn't
switched
pop
the
up.
K and the H.
Yeah, that's where. Because I was like, there's no way he's like this early or this late.
Yeah. Oops.
Because I was confident. I was like, oh, no one took him because I tried to put in his name. But okay, that's an error on both our parts. So I'll go with the defensive guy and go Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, I think I made your pick a little easier now.
Yes, you did. It was either between Bakhtiari or Bradley Chubb. And again, if Bradley Chubb can stay healthy, he's a threat to reckon with. He's kind of he'll be good. I don't have much to say about him because we already know he's an exciting player. He's a great edge rusher. He's still young. If he goes up against David Bakhtiari, he probably will lose because Bakhtiari is better. But hey, Bradley Chubb is, again, he's young. He has time to develop. If he stays healthy, he'll probably be one of the best edge rushers. Probably top 10 edge rusher in my opinion. That's kind of a hot take, but I think he's good enough to do so. And again, if Bakhtiari was spelled correctly, I wouldn't have taken him. But now I look like an idiot. I feel like I look like an idiot now. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm the one who spelled his name wrong. So.
That's true. Because I was looking through, and it's also kind of hard to read his name with the Niners print, so that's kind of my fault. But I was also kind of panicking. But I'm just calling everyone out here for their mistakes. God damn. But Bradley Chubb.
All right. So for the Titans, I already gave them Matt Ryan last round, and we were talking about him earlier winning MVP, which won't happen, but I said, yeah, he doesn't have Julio Jones anymore. So I'm going to give him a receiver now. Definitely not Julio Jones in his prime, but I think he's a very underrated receiver. I want to say he's never had a good QB in his career. Yeah, he probably never. Yet he still is regarded as one of the top receivers in the league. Yet he's not called as an elite receiver when I think he should. I mean, well, you know what? Let me see what it is first. It's Terry McLaurin. Like, think about there we go. Think about
Dude,
the
I've
QBs he's
spelled
had.
it wrong so many times.
I think every player I've started out by spelling it wrong. But yeah, who have been his QBs? Like Kyle Allen, Ryan Fitzpatrick for a couple weeks.
Taylor Heineke.
Taylor
That's
Heineke. Yep. Oh yeah, I can't forget about that one. Yeah, it beats me. I don't know, all shitty QBs, but I think he's one of the top receivers in the league, and hopefully Matt Ryan can prove that right.
All right. I want to check something real quick. All right, I'm gonna risk it. I was gonna go quarterback with the Bucks, and then wait to pick one for and not wait to pick one for the Chiefs and just wait for the next round. But I'm not gonna do that anymore. The Bucks have George Kittle and Joey Bosa. I'm gonna go back to the offense, and this is another kind of weird pick, but I'm gonna go with Creed Humphrey.
That is a weird pick.
Yeah, it's definitely a little strange because or maybe a lot of people don't really know who Creed Humphrey is, but everyone saw the major improvement that the Chiefs offensive line had from Super Bowl 55 to now. Like, Mahomes is still not protected probably as well as, definitely some other quarterbacks that are out there, but it definitely was a lot worse. And Creed Humphrey came into the league and immediately was rated by PFF like one of the best offensive linemen ever. So I feel like this team doesn't have a quarterback yet, but it's good for that defense or for that offense. And, with an offense like George Kittle, you're probably going to be running a lot because he's such a great blocker. So you have Creed Humphrey to block up the middle. George Kittle can block a little bit on the ends. And again, it's definitely a weird pick, but he came into the league and was immediately one of PFF's favorite players in the entire NFL. So
Do you
I think
trust PFF though?
I don't 100% trust PFF, but I feel like for offensive line, I trust PFF more than anyone else because I don't really know how to grade offensive linemen. It's kind of hard to tell an elite offensive lineman from a good offensive lineman, if that makes sense. And I think PFF knows what they're doing, at least in that. In quarterbacks and receivers, I can tell who's good. Offensive line is definitely harder. So
yeah. Okay, so if this hypothetical thing were to go on, would it just be taking place next year?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that doesn't help me.
I think I may know who you're talking about.
Yeah, who's that?
Well, I'm not gonna say.
Well, he's just the best available right now
Wait,
at his position.
Why does it matter if it's next year or not?
Because
Oh, I'm confused now. Shit.
okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna take him anyways. I don't want to though, because but he's just
Well, I
better.
mean, we already had D Hop go pretty early if it's like something like that.
Oh, okay.
Well, if it's the player I'm thinking of, he's not injured.
No, he's not.
Okay, so yeah, I think I.
Just
I feel
take
like-
just take injuries and like suspensions and all that stuff for next season out of
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So okay, if we're taking it out of play, then I feel like this receiver kind of fell, but if Dak Prescott wants to prove that he's in his prime, 'cause he's on the Packers, he needs a bona fide wide receiver one, and it's Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
I
Again,
literally I forgot. Wait, did I even have him written down?
Yeah, I wrote him down like 10 minutes ago. I totally forgot that
yeah.
he existed.
obviously
I
he's suspended for next year, but if we're just throwing that out the window, then he's a good wide receiver one for Dak. Need I say more?
Oh,
He will prove that Dak is in his prime, and you have Jair Alexander on the defense to hold that down. So get Dak a good weapon.
I
And
also like that team.
Yes.
That's a good team.
okay, thank you
if-
for
if-
reminding me to look at the receivers again because that caught my attention for another receiver.
Calvin Ridley.
Did I not have it written down? No. Huh. Oh, I'm picking. Oh boy. Yay. Okay.
Pressure's on.
49ers, they don't really have any skill positions on offense yet. I gave them Derwin James and David Bakhtiari actually. So
Right, spelled wrong, but it's okay.
you know it's fixed now. It's okay.
It is fixed now.
I don't love this pick, but I just want to give all my teams a chance to win fairly early. And I think this QB is pretty safe. I mean, he's won games on a not great team. I think we give him some weapons, some protection. He's never had a good offensive line. He's had like the worst offensive line in the league many years. Maybe not many, but definitely last year. And that is Tua. He kind of gets roasted for not having a good arm and that stuff. There's like videos of him like underthrowing Tyreek, but I think if
only
we
one
give him
video.
the blocking and the weapons, he'll be fine. He's serviceable. He can win games. He's played a couple years. He has more experience than anyone else left besides like Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield or Jared Goff. I don't want any of those goofballs. So I just feel like best possible option here is Tua.
Okay, let me check something real quick again.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I'm not gonna risk it again because I feel like James could definitely take a quarterback for the Bengals.
I'm not, but just
Well,
letting you know.
we'll see. But maybe the next round you could I don't know, something like that. But this is my last pick of the day, and I'm gonna end it definitely a little more exciting than I've ended the other two. I'm going to Justin Fields. I think, take everything that happened with the Bears completely out of the way. Like, first of all, he had a really shit coach in Matt Nagy, terrible system there in general. And two, that offense is awful. It's a really bad offensive line. There's not a whole lot of weapons outside of Darnell Mooney. There's, Dave Montgomery's fine, but he was hurt half the year. Like, nothing for that team was really like anything special. And I don't know. I just feel like Justin Fields is a guy that, or at least a prospect that could be really good. He was amazing at Ohio State. He was one of the best college quarterbacks I've seen in some time. He beat Trevor Lawrence in a playoff game. And, they held their own against that stacked Bama team. But, yeah, you get Justin Fields on a team that has Zach Martin, so he has some protection, and he has Travis Kelce, so he already has one of the best offensive weapons in the league. It may be a little off the board. There are some quarterbacks that are out there that may, at this point in their careers, be a little better than Justin Fields, like someone I said before in Ryan Tannehill, but I think that Fields offers a whole lot of upside. So I'm going with him.
All right. Who do the Bengals have? McCaffrey and Cooper Kupp. So I could have gone quarterback, but this is also going to be an extremely controversial pick. We know that the Bengals have had not the best corners in history. And I think this guy fell just because of how controversial he is, and it's Trayvon Diggs. Look,
Yeah.
I know what?
I wrote him down, so yeah.
I just know that he gave up like one of the most, like almost the most amount of yards by one cornerback, but it's just the interceptions, just the numbers don't lie. And I know people only look at like interceptions and stuff, but it just he has potential. He's young. Again, he I know I just said it 5 seconds ago, but he has the potential to be a good cornerback. We know he has ball hawking skills. People only look at the interceptions, but hey, they'll just add to the excitement of the Bengals defense, whose only player is Trayvon Diggs right now. But I mean, he just needs to develop guarding, like manning up and pressing receivers. Then he'll be one of the best corners in the league. And he was an All-Pro last year, but only because of the picks. And if he were to limit the yards per game, then he can be an elite cornerback. I still think he is just because of his ball hawking skills, and that's why I think he kind of fell, because just of how inconsistent he is with the amount of yards given up. And some of the picks are kind of gifted to him, but I still think he can be a good cornerback, and he proved it last year, but not really. So the Bengals are going to give him a shot. He's young, and he's maybe a top 10 corner next year if he can guard receivers.
Okay, so last
Yeah,
pick of the
that's
third round. I already gave the Rams. They have Kirk Cousins, so I feel like this type of QB, you need to give him a weapon or two. As we see, like Vikings surround him with Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, Jefferson, and he's been very good recently. So I'm going to try and do the same thing. I was actually set on this one receiver here for a while until I decided to look through my list to see if I had Calvin Ridley, and I realized there was another receiver I was missing. So I think I pick again with the Rams to start of the fourth round. So I think I'm actually going to take two receivers here, but obviously I'm only going to say the one now. I could change my mind. But the receiver I'm taking to end off the third round is CeeDee Lamb.
Pain.
I honestly completely forgot about him until I looked through my list to see if I had Calvin Ridley. I was going to take a different receiver. But yeah, CeeDee Lamb, he's very young. He's one of the best receivers already. I mean, I wouldn't say he's one of the best, but he's very talented. He can do everything. He's got good hands. He's really fast. He can run routes. He can do it all. That's really all I have to say about that.
So round 3 ends with 2 Cowboys in a row.
Yes.
All right. Well, there you have it. That is round 3 of the Ultimate Redraft. This was definitely the most interesting.
And I think it's just going to keep getting more interesting as the rounds go on.
That's fair. I mean, there are only how many teams with like no the Texans don't have a quarterback yet.
The Bengals don't, but I'll probably take one next round.
Bengals don't.
Only team of mine that doesn't have a QB is Steelers.
Seattle doesn't. The Steelers.
Oh yeah, Seattle's run heavy, so yeah. I don't know why I'm slacking on QBs, but I don't really care.
Did you have the Browns take one or no?
No, they have Kamara and TJ Watt.
Okay.
Again, a lot of my teams don't have QBs, but I'd rather wait for a QB and take players that are like ranked high in their position. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the only team I have that doesn't have one is the Texans and the Bucks.
So I'm gonna be in the QB farm next round probably.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was again definitely the most interesting. Next week we'll be doing round 4, unless we may be doing earlier this week. I don't know. I leave on Friday for Florida. I have a wedding.
I have to work tomorrow and Thursday, so probably next week we'll have to do it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right, sounds good. Hope you guys really enjoyed round 3 of the Ultimate Redraft. Definitely some teams that I think are a little better than others, but it's okay. There's still a lot of defensive talent still available. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 14 defensive players that I still have on my phone.
I just don't have a list. I'm just going off what I feel is best, and I think it's going well so far.
Yeah, I think there's no real bad team like at all. It's
Yeah,
kind of hard
it's
to do
definitely
that.
way too early to say there's a bad team.
Yeah. So, all right. Anyone have anything else to say?
I mean, I was gonna say, like, now that we're getting into the later rounds and we don't have that much to say, we are gonna take a bit to do next round. We could do 2 rounds at once. Like,
Okay.
this didn't take too long.
Yeah, we could.
Just an idea.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah, I would just probably have to write more people down, but that's not really a problem.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I know we're 3 rounds in, and it's hard to judge a team off 3 players, but what team excites you the most? And I know it's a lot of work to go through all 3 teams. Like
That isn't my
rounds.
own.
Yeah, I'll say that isn't your own.
All right. I really like the Raiders team with Trevor, Fred Warner, and Keenan Allen.
Yay.
So that's probably my favorite of yours. For Jason's, sorry, I'm just.
Wait, who has
I'm
the
trying to look through
Panthers?
it too.
Who is the Panthers?
I do.
I like that team.
I was
Deshaun,
just
Mega,
gonna
and
say I
Teron
like the
Armstead.
Panthers.
Yeah. So that's my favorite of Jared's.
I kind of like the Commanders, even though it's like definitely a weird look because
is
it's
weird.
Brady and 2 tackles, but like
He needs
can't
all
really
help he can
go.
get.
It's not like if you're drafting Brady, you need to build for 1 year, which is like, or 2 years, which just build his offensive line so you can like keep him upright. And
I like Jason's offensive approach on the Cowboys with Carr and CD.
that's me also.
Wow, CD's also on the Rams. I just
Yeah.
have not been getting enough sleep.
Wait, was CD already drafted?
No, he was drafted. He was the last pick. I just
No, you're
am
fine.
losing sleep.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
I
you're
like
the
the-
Cowboys?
I like the
I'm
Pack-
sorry, I'm
I like
losing
the-
it.
I like the Packers with Dak. Actually, that's the best. I like the Dak, Ridley, and Jair team a
Yeah,
lot.
also me.
Yeah, that is a really good team.
Aha.
All right. Well, what's the favorite of our, like, pick your favorite team out of the teams you're drafting from?
Of your own.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. First of all, the best team is the Jaguars. I don't know why we
Let's
didn't
go,
say
baby. My teams
The-
are just killing it right
that.
now.
Mahomes, Buckner, and
Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack.
Mack,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. That's a very
I'm
good
killing it right now. Let's
as
go.
long as you get like protection for Mahomes, that team
He
is
doesn't
gonna,
need protection.
Well,
No,
I
he
mean,
does.
he does.
Yeah.
But, of the
What,
teams
it's gonna be insane, that team.
I drafted, I like the Cowboys with Carr, Matthew, and Tyron Smith.
I kind of like the Raiders, honestly. I like that team.
Yeah, I like the Broncos too with Stafford, Diggs, and Marlon Humphrey. I really like that team.
think.
I like the Chargers. I like Carson Wentz is kind of like an underrated pick right there.
I like him. I think my 2 favorite teams I've drafted are the Lions with Josh Allen, Jamar Chase, and Roquan Smith, and then Titans with Matt Ryan, Terry McLaurin, and Micah Parsons. I think those are
I like Terry there. I kind of forgot about Terry, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, same. I
very
forgot he made one of the
underrated.
best catches ever last year.
Yeah,
That was
Chargers.
what was I gonna say? And it, like we obviously like everyone kind of has like their own team of like they're just trying something out. Like with
Yeah.
James, he has the Seahawks, which is like a complete
Just
like
one.
run commit team.
On both sides of the ball. So I think you know who I'm taking with my next pick. If I have 2 offensive players, then I need another defensive player who's good at run stopping.
Yeah. And then like with me, I have the Texans, which I'm probably just gonna do all defense. That's like a little bit of a spoiler, but whatever. And then the Vikings is kind of the same thing as James, where I have like Lamar and Jonathan Taylor is like the best run, or at least the best running back that was available, and the best running quarterback. And then Eric Kendricks is a great run stopper. And then Jason has, wait, what was the team that you were?
Commanders.
Yeah, that one. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like everyone kind of took their own approach, which those are 3 in a row also, which is interesting. But yeah. All right. So we just went through what teams we like the best. We want to know what teams you guys like the best too. Look at that fucking transition. That was pretty good. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube at the Route Runners Podcast. Comment below what teams you really like, what teams maybe you don't like, picks that you like or don't like also. And we'll be happy to answer them and just see what you guys have to say. And thank you guys for watching.
Yes. Bye-bye.